A lot can happen when you're the world's largest search engine. Here's everything toxic that Google did in 2024. In January, we learned that Google's search results were getting worse because they cared more about showing us adverts than actually showing us search results. Shocked Pikachu face. Alphabet then unveiled a larger drone for heavier packages. 50 quid says they axed this project mid-flight, which is a shame because I wanted to buy another 50-gallon drum of lube and Amazon no longer deliver it. Then Google settled a $5 billion privacy lawsuit over tracking people who use their incognito browsing mode. This means that each claimant will be entitled to $7.70 compensation, and that's not even a joke. Chrome also had to update the incognito warning to let future browsers know they're being tracked. But the Heisenberg silhouette gets to stay, so, swings and roundabouts. Google then responded to the accusations that they were slowing down YouTube videos buffering on browsers where ad blockers had been installed by saying, "No, we didn't," then blamed the ad blockers for any lag on the site, something the ad blockers agreed with. But still, boo Google. And finally, Google and Bing put non-consensual deepfake porn at the top of the search results. Jeeves is still yet to comment. I'll be honest, if you actually read this article, a better headline would be NBC staff member turns off safe mode and searches for deepfake porn and finds it. February was a busy month for Google. They started by confirming they will no longer back up the internet, to which the Wayback Machine said, "Hold my beer." This sounds great because there are some things that people want the internet to forget. However, famously, the internet never forgets the things you want forgotten and never remembers the things you want remembered. Either way, RIP cache links. From retiring a product to not retiring a product, smooth links like that are the reason TV channels don't touch me. Google then had to confirm that Gmail is here to stay after an ex-user with Photoshop mocked up an email saying they were shutting it down. When I read Gmail was here to stay, I was relieved, but then I remembered this is Google. Now I give it a month before they either shut it down or force a subscription. Google then had to pause its AI image generator, Gemini, after it refused to show white people, although the tool was very good at generating images of inclusive 1940s German Nazis, if that's your thing. In unconnected news, it was confirmed that Google will pay Reddit $60 million a year to use its content to train AI. Yeah, I'm sure that will solve all of Gemini's problems. AI is only as clever as the data you train it on, so I've got a feeling their AI tools are about to get very dumb very fast. Hey, I use Reddit all the time. That's not being fair to me. Well, maybe not you individually, me in a hat, although I wouldn't wear that t-shirt as it does kind of undermine your point, but Twitter taught Microsoft's AI chatbot to become a racist arsehole in less than a day, although maybe Google read this and thought of it as a challenge. In March, despite a booming economy and record profits, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and others not relevant to this video laid off 42,000 members of staff since the start of the year. Because you know what's better than record-breaking profits? All the money. Then Google was ordered to identify people who watch certain YouTube videos. This included a YouTube tutorial for mapping via drones and augmented reality software, which has been viewed 30,000 times. And another video was a live stream of somebody threatening to put a boom boom in a public bin. I hate that I have to talk like this to have a serious discussion, and yet here we are. Now, YouTube has not confirmed if they've complied with the police, but their PR team have put out a quote saying, "We have a vigorous process designed to protect the privacy and constitutional rights of our users, while supporting the important work of law enforcement." So yeah, I'd say they complied. In April, Google was made to delete $5 billion worth of user data illegally collected through their incognito mode. That is a lot of porn surfing data that's going to waste. And YouTube started to roll out adverts when you pause a video. Because why should you get a second of your life to yourself? And if you're wondering, the term you're looking for is enshittification. And there's a full video on that linked here. Then Google laid off hundreds of core employees and moved those jobs to India and Mexico to save money. And if you're wondering where all that saved money is going, well, they're going to spunk $100 billion on AI, and they're building a heart button on Android. Finally, a group of artists then sued Alphabet because they used their copyrighted images to train their AI tools. And in unrelated news, Google became a $2 trillion company. That's billion with a T. And finally, we learned that Google paid Apple $20 billion in 2022 to be the default search engine on Safari. Because nothing screams, "We're the best service in town," like spending $20 billion to keep your monopoly. In May, Google released its AI search tools, and immediately it broke, suggesting people eat rocks and glue, and saying that it's okay to smoke 2 to 3 cigarettes per day while pregnant. Why does this feel so familiar? It's almost like AI doesn't actually know anything and it's just regurgitating information it finds from the internet? Then Alphabet said it would limit the content you were able to watch on YouTube if you had an ad blocker installed. So let me be the first to thank all of you for that lovely, lovely YouTube Premium money. To round off the month, Google's search algorithm was leaked, and it turns out they've been gaslighting SEO managers for years, lying about what helps a site rank, and in no shit Sherlock news, they seem to favour traffic coming from their own Chrome browser. In June, Google's AI used enough electricity in 1 second to charge 7 electric cars. So I'd really appreciate it if all of you could turn your Teslas off so I could power my AI girlfriend for 2 minutes. Who am I kidding? I only need about 20 seconds. In unrelated news, Google Gemini misidentified the destroying angel mushroom as an edible button mushroom. And in Gemini's defense, it is technically edible. You'll just die within 2 hours of eating it. Google, if you're looking for a lawyer, call me. And while we're on legal news, Google cut Uncle Sam a $2 million check so it could avoid a jury trial. It turns out Uncle Sam is a cheap whore. This means the antitrust case, which argued that Google is a monopoly because it is, which Joe Biden's administration brought against Alphabet, will now be decided by one single judge and not a jury. And I put $1,000 on the fact that judge is about to get a pretty fucking sweet payday too. Then Google killed infinite scrolling on search results, which is really good news for people who want to hide a dead body on page 2. And finally, Reddit traffic is up 39%. Gee, it's almost like people just want answers to their questions rather than adverts. Who knew? In July, Google warned that uBlock Origin may soon be disabled on Chrome. That's not a problem for me because I've got Google Chrome disabled. They did it. The crazy son of a bitch did it. Then we discovered that Google and Microsoft now each consume more electricity each hour than 100 countries. And yet their search results are getting worse, and they fired Clippy. Is nothing sacred anymore. And finally, Google announced that it will be purging low-quality Android apps from August. Meta must be shitting themselves. In August, Putin seized $100 million from Google's Russian bank accounts and then funneled it into propaganda on Russian TV. Who would have guessed a Russian bank isn't a safe place to store your money? From one bad leader to another, Trump said Google is very bad and that it should be shut down. This brings a whole new meaning to the old man yells at cloud meme. And finally, Yelp is suing Google for antitrust violations. Great, now I'm rooting for Google. Honestly, this month has been short, but a roller coaster. September was a busy month for YouTube. First, they made good on their promise from back in April to start showing you adverts whenever you pause videos, unless you paid to get rid of the ads. And in unrelated news, YouTube Premium is getting a price hike internationally to around 26 euros a month, which I'd love to pay, but unfortunately I've just donated that exact amount to the indie developers of the ad blocker I have installed on my browser. Maybe next month. Then YouTube said it was going to restrict teenagers' exposure to videos about weight and fitness, but you can still change your age in your profile and see it, which makes that bar so low it could be used for a limbo championship. Oh wait, Google now wants to use your driving license to verify your age for certain websites. Hard pass. I'm not fundamentally against this as an idea, but while our data is a commodity that billionaires sell to whoever has the most money, and there are daily leaks without any real legal consequences, I don't want to give them anything which makes my data worth more to them.
Once more for the people at the back.
How about no, you crazy SEO bastards? Finally, Trump said he will seek to prosecute Google if he wins the election because their results favour Harris. Rumour has it Donald is also going to sue the sky because it's blue, which happens to be the Democrats' favourite colour. In October, a Russian court fined Google $20 decillion. Put that in perspective, the World Bank estimates the global GDP is around $100 trillion, so the fine is more than all of the world's money. It's also the same number of O's you get when you Google Russian atrocities. Google was then threatened with a breakup by America, which is a real fuckboy move. Either break up with them or don't. We don't need another Ross and Rachel on our hands. Next, Google's former CEO, Eric Schmidt, said the quiet part loudly at the AI and Energy Summit, and he said we should go all in building AI data centers because we're never going to meet our climate goals anyway. I mean, I vaguely respect his honesty. A better headline would be, guy who owns private jet tells the world we're not going to hit climate goals, so why don't we just burn the house down anyway? In unrelated news, Redditors in London are trying to poison Google's AI to keep tourists out of the good restaurants. This led to massive queues at the notoriously shit Angus Steakhouse after thousands love-bombed their reviews. And love-bombing is the right term for this, because it's basically customers saying, I love my favorite secret restaurant so much, I'm going to drive other customers away, so it's solely dependent on my attention, money, and affections. In November, the US Department of Justice recommended that Google is forced to sell off their browser, Chrome. Please don't sell it to Elon. Please don't sell it to Elon. Please. Google then said it would stop serving political ads in the EU the day after the US election result. And why not everywhere? Once Trump was declared the winner, searches for move to Canada skyrocketed the same as they did back in 2016. If Alphabet had any class, they would just show a no vacancy sign. And finally, Gemini AI told a user to die unprompted. I mean, it is trained on Reddit comments. If anything, this is tame. In December, an Australian inquiry found that Amazon, Google, and Meta are, quote, pillaging culture, data, and creativity to train their AI. That's also a direct quote from their shareholder meeting. Then a former Google CEO warned that perfect AI girlfriends could spell trouble for young men, saying he suggested AI regulation changes, but expects little action without a major incident. Little action without a major incident? Name of your sex tape. To be frank, I'll take this method of extinction over a nuclear war any day. Then Google's CEO, Sundar Pichai, said Google search will change profoundly in 2025. Given he didn't say for the better, I'm not going to hold my breath. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch everything toxic that Amazon and Meta did this year, the links are currently on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in 2025. Godspeed.